Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
A Supreme Court justice hands down a ruling in the Ronnie Jean Charles case.
PLP leader Philip Davis says he's forgiven House Speaker Halson Moultrie, but he hasn't forgotten. That story straight ahead.
The Deputy Prime Minister tells us how he feels about the Obad oil refinery project.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, Ronnie Jean Charles is free to live and work in the Bahamas without interference from immigration pending an appeal. That was the decision made in a ruling handed down by Supreme Court Justice Gregory Hilton this morning. Hilton also stayed his previous order that Jean Charles be granted status by the government. Jasmine Brown reports.
In court this morning, Justice Hilton spent nearly 20 minutes explaining the ruling that he handed down. That order was a part of a much-anticipated ruling that Hilton delivered on the government's stay application of its January 30th ruling. While he said in court today that Jean Charles must be allowed to live and work in the Bahamas uninhibited, Hilton stayed his order that Jean Charles be issued status to permit him to remain in the Bahamas and to legally seek gainful employment within 60 days of application. Hilton said he believed there are numerous other people who may be in similar circumstances as Jean Charles and who may make similar applications. As for the more than $1 million in compensation that Jean Charles's lawyer Fred Smith QC has indicated he will be seeking, Hilton said a determination would have to be made following the Court of Appeal ruling. Outside court, Attorney General Carl Bethel said he is pleased with Hilton's ruling as they are not bound to grant status, despite the fact that he can live and work in the Bahamas as his appeal is being heard.
He's basically stayed that part, save and accept the issue of, a person should be able to support themselves while they are going through a legal process and at the end of that making some kind of application. So we are happy on that point that in substance the government is not bound to grant any immediate status pending the resolution of the Court of Appeal hearing.
Jean Charles's attorney was also pleased with the ruling.
I am, on behalf of Mr. Ronnie Jean Charles, very pleased with the judgment. The Supreme Court Justice Hilton has maintained his judgment, which we consider to be a very powerful statement on constitutional rights.
35-year-old Jean Charles is the Bahamas-born man at the center of a controversial immigration case. He did not apply for status between ages 18 and 19, which is the constitutionally entitled period. Immigration authorities picked him up last September, held him at the Carmichael Road Detention Center, and eventually deported him to Haiti. On January 30th, Hilton ordered the government to issue a travel document for Jean Charles to return to the Bahamas. Additionally, the judge ordered that upon applying, Jean Charles be provided status within 60 days. The government complied with the court ruling, issued the travel document, and Jean Charles returned to the Bahamas on February 3rd. But he was immediately taken back into custody. He was released from the custody of immigration authorities on February 5th, pending a hearing of an application to stay his ruling in the matter on January 30th. Smith says his client has been through a lot over the past few months and understands the significance of the case on a national level.
I want to emphasize that this judgment is about due process. It is about immigration following the procedures set out in the Immigration Act, the Criminal Procedure Code, and the Constitution. It's very simple, it's not complicated, it's not sophisticated.
The matter is now expected to head to the Court of Appeal. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
More from the court's Attorney General Carl Bethel is responding to critics who have slammed the government for its failure to name Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs as the permanent Chief Justice.
We do not have the concerns that have been expressed. We think that our not having those concerns is founded on good legal authority. And I'll leave it at that for the moment.
Earlier this week, Senior Magistrate Darren Stroll Davis called on all members of the Judiciary to abandon their posts next Tuesday and assemble in front of the Supreme Court in protest of the government's failure to name Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs as the permanent Chief Justice. Isaacs was sworn in to act as Chief Justice for the 8th time after former Chief Justice Sir Harman Longley was appointed as President of the Court of Appeal. Bar Association President Khalil Parker said the absence of a substantive CJ raises questions about the independence of the judiciary. The AG says the government plans on releasing a more detailed statement on the matter.
That's not a question I plan to address today. We will have a statement out on it for Monday that will comprehensively.
Police are searching for the person who stabbed a man multiple times on Potters Key Dock and left him to die on the pavement. According to reports, the man was walking along the dock shortly before 5 this morning when he discovered the man's body, which had multiple stab wounds. Police and emergency medical services personnel rushed to the scene where the unidentified man was pronounced dead. Investigations continue. Well, there has been no confirmation that the purported airplane wreckage seen submerged in waters in a video circulated on social media is that of the doomed flight from the San Andres airport back in January. That's according to Chief Investigator of the Air Accident Investigation Department, Delvin Major. When we spoke with him via phone today, Major said he too saw the video, but said there have been no reports to the police in Andres.
I did speak with the police who was in charge in Andres, and I advised them that we received a video if he was aware of it, and he mentioned that no one has reported anything to him. So that's why I was not able to go any further with it, because I needed to get official confirmation from him. And seeing that it's in Andres, I would think if someone found the plane, they would have, first of all, alerted the authorities. And so far, that's not the case.
In the video that made the rounds today, 2 snorkelers could be seen talking to a man on a boat, saying they found the plane and that there were skeletal remains found as well. Civil aviation authorities have maintained that the 6-seater Piper Aztec crashed in waters of Mastic Point, North Andres, killing all 6 people on board, including the pilot. Only 5% of the plane had been recovered, as Major and other officials said it appears the plane disintegrated upon impact. The search was ended shortly after. Now, Major said he has teams waiting to be dispatched if confirmation comes from Andres that the remainder of the wreckage has been found.
I have on standby, because once I saw it, I advised the insurance company as well as the salvage company, the NTSB, all of those that will be participating in the investigation. They have been put on alert. So if the aircraft is confirmed and we can get the actual coordinates, then we propose to have the salvage team go and retrieve the aircraft, and at the same time, if there's any remains, human remains, those will be recovered and sent to the morgue at the same time.
Following a motion in the House of Assembly that stored confidence upheld in Speaker of the House of Assembly, Housen Moultrie, PLP leader Philip Davis says much of the damage done will be difficult to reverse. Jared Higgs reports.
And so I forgive him, but I have to walk circumspect, because the House could still collapse.
PLP leader Philip Davis says while his Christian faith compels him to accept the apology of House Speaker Housen Moultrie, he still has grave misgivings regarding the Speaker's inability to be impartial in governing the proceedings of the House of Assembly. Davis made the comments while addressing a crowd of supporters and former parliamentarians at the party's headquarters last night.
The roof is still sagging, the beams are still rotting, and the foundation is still weak. While there is forgiveness, the Speaker himself must now sit down to his banquet of consequences. Because notwithstanding the fact that the government has had its way, we brought our case to the High Court of Parliament, and on every count, he was found guilty.
A motion of no confidence moved by the opposition was ultimately amended to a motion of confidence by the government, and saw Moultrie retained as Speaker of the House of Assembly. Davis charged that Moultrie was not fit to serve after he unfairly suspended the entire opposition following a bitter tirade. On Wednesday, F&M Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge Frederick McAlpine expressed frustration with Moultrie's comments and said based on the Minnis administration's performance thus far, it appears to be the same movie with a different cast. Despite this, the Pine Ridge MP said he could not support the no-confidence motion, something that disappointed Davis.
We and the majority of right-thinking Bahamians are still perplexed and still appalled by the fact that the governing members, save and except for McAlpine, who was not brave enough to go all the way, said that the Speaker was right in his action. Not one of the majority. Even the Speaker came along and said that he was wrong. But none of them said that he was wrong.
Also taking the stage here last night was PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper. He agreed with Davis's estimation that they may have lost the vote, but they won over the court of public opinion.
We thought it was straightforward, and we thought that they would see the error in their ways and that they would vote with us. But you know, I've learned not to have any expectation from this crew. But you know, they protected the fella. He will continue as Speaker. But we won the vote in the minds of the Bahamian people.
The vote that saw members present vote along party lines was missed by 7 Free National Movement members of Parliament. MP for Tall Pines and Deputy Speaker Don Saunders chaired the proceedings and abstained from voting. Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
Week 3 of our Fit February series continues tonight with yet another intense workout. This time, we got a sweat in with Keith Hinsey, one tough trainer of Physique Total Fitness.
Something very simple but very effective.
See, no, y'all trainers been saying very simple for the first 2 weeks.
Something very simple and something very effective. We're going to sweat.
That was the warning I didn't heed. This week's location, GMI Wellness Center in the Caves Village. The trainer, Physique Total Fitness trainer Keith Hinsey. First things first, a change of attire.
Hey. So for the month of February, it's all about the Physique Total Fit Challenge. I put it out there for the Bahamas, for the world to do, and I've been getting a lot of feedback from it. It's very effective, it's very hard, and every week we progress, we add a round to it.
A quick demonstration.
Very simple, 30 plank lunges. 30, all right? Then cross it over, lie on your back, cross body toe touch. 30 of them. Bring it on up, jump squats. 30. Last, but least. Push-ups.
Pretty easy, right? A quick warm-up. I'd just like to note, before we started, I had an egg and cheese muffin from McDonald's. Just saying. Then we got to work. We started with our 30 push-ups and straight through into the other workouts for round 1.
Hey, how you feeling? Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to keep this movement nice and simple. You don't want to squat all the way down and spring all the way up. It's too much. All right? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2, nice and 3. Pick it up. Let's go. Push. 2, 3, fast. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is the end of round 1. It's going to get your heart rate up. It's going to completely work the entire body. And like Kyle, you're going to be out of breath. I like myself. You ready for the second round? 30 seconds and we get into it. Whew.
And after 2 rounds and 30 reps of all 3 workouts, well...
9, 10, 11, come on. 12, dig deep. Pull hips, 22, control it. 23, no shifting. 24, 25, 26, push. 27, don't stop. 28, push. 29, last one. 30.
I did it.
Look at the sweat.
Am I Physique Total Fit ready yet or no?
You ran the shirt, definitely. There you go.
All right, so anyone can do this then?
Anyone can do this anytime, anywhere. I sat down, I selected 4 exercises that I know you can do anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. You got the job, move out of your chair, get behind the desk, push-ups, complete the whole exercise, the whole challenge.
It's not as easy as it looks on TV. Still to come on our news, the DPM calls a multi-billion-dollar project a game changer for Grand Bahama, plus a little more clarity on government's $30,000 land program. That's coming up when our news returns.